Hi, Phyllis here from southernfrugal.com. Today I'm going to make a cheesecake. Now, this is really a basic recipe, and it's of a similar kind that you buy in the restaurant that you pay $4.95 a slice for. Yeah, I know, I get it, but I hate having to pay that. But this is very similar to that. Now, this also makes a great Christmas cake because of the topping on it. But anyway, it's not going to have a graham cracker crust. It's going to have a cookie crust. And I just like that better. I fix a lot of times the graham cracker crust, and you know, you just sometimes get tired of that. You want something different. So this is a real cookie crust. All right, now this is going to be what seems like a lot of trouble, but it's worth it, okay? All right, here we go. All right, the first thing we're going to do is make the cookie crust. And you're going to need 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Now, this flour was sifted and then I measured it. All right, so 1.5 cups. 1/4 cup of sugar. And this would be 1/2 cup of butter. Now, I cut my butter in little slices and let it sit out for, I don't know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Just put that in. And then the other ingredient is the rind of 1 lemon grated. Now, I grated this on this side. Now, it just is not the same if you're going to use one of those planers. This works better because it gets it in much smaller little pieces. So we're going to dump that in. All right, now I'm just going to use my fingers and get this all worked in till I get it to a pretty small crumb stage. And I just think it works better. It's a lot faster if you use your hands. Now, we're not really after, you know, a flaky crust. What we're after is sort of a dense, crispy crust. Anyway, this will take you a little while. Just get all that butter in. Now, I end up getting those when we go out to eat. I just always seem to have to get the cheesecake. My husband doesn't like it that much, but he usually helps me eat it. But I'll have to say they're good. But I think restaurants don't really make their own cheesecake. I think there are companies that make that, because you can sort of tell. They take it out of the little freezer, if you've ever seen them do that. Usually the waitress does it, and then they pour whatever kind of topping you want on it. I think most people usually get strawberry on top of it. All right, that's good enough there. All right, now we're just going to add a touch of pure vanilla extract, just a touch in there. Because after all, I mean, it's a cookie crust, so it needs a little vanilla. Now we're going to put just a little bit of salt, maybe 1/4 teaspoon. And then the final ingredient is 1 egg yolk. So we'll get that vanilla mixed in somewhat, and the salt. I'm just going to pour that right down in the middle. Now, my butter was still just a little bit cold. I mean, it was not really quite room temperature, and we're just going to mix this all up. See how it'll kind of clump together now? Now at this point, A lot of recipes say you should chill this crust. I don't really do that because I think it's a lot easier to work with if you don't chill it. Okay, now it's pretty much all coming together. Now, clean my hands off a little bit. All right, now, you'll need, I think that my spring foam pan is 9 or 10 inches. So we're going to take it, I said spring foam, it's spring form, excuse me. All right, I'm going to grease the bottom with just a little bit of Crisco because I want this to come out of this little pan. So just grease it all around. Now I'm going to take about 1/3 of this dough and I'm going to use that third for the bottom of my pan. So just kind of, form it into a little disc. And then I just go ahead and put it right on the little pan. Now I have preheated my oven to 400 degrees and this little part of the pan is going to cook for about 8 minutes just to kind of get it firmed up. Now again, my PVC little roller. You might need a little flour on that. Let's do that. Just a teeny bit of a little flour on there so it doesn't stick to my little makeshift rolling pin. And again, you want to sort of, get this as even as you can and all the way to the edges. Because this is going to be the bottom of your cheesecake. Now if you need a little more, just pinch a little more off and stick it on there. And there's no exact science to this. To me, I just really, really like the cookie crust better than the graham cracker crust, even though I've done the graham cracker crust a lot, because my family likes the graham cracker crust really well, especially my husband. But this time, we're going to do the cookie dough crust. Again, just try to make it even, as even as you can. And this little lip on the pan will help you to get it even. I need a little more over here. Now this is going to brown up really great once the cheesecake is done. Put a little more over here. All right, I think we got it. Alright, there it is, fingerprints and all, but it's pretty much the same thickness all the way around. Now we'll put this in the oven for 8 minutes. And I'm going to show you how to do the sides of the crust. Be right back. I'm going to set my little timer for 8 minutes. And we're just pre-cooking that a little bit. That's really all that's happening there. Now we want to grease the sides of the pan just a little bit. Not much, but just a teeny little bit. Now you can get these spring form, I don't know why I want to say foam, spring form pans at Walmart. In fact, if you get this kind, you get 3 in a bunch. I don't know how long they're going to have that on sale like that, but you actually get 3 different sizes for about $9. All right, so now it's undone now. All right, I'm going to set that aside. Now, we're going to roll out the crust for the sides. Now, I hope y'all don't get discouraged here because this is a little difficult, but not impossible to do. So put just a little bit of flour on my saran wrap, and I've got that over one of those sheets that you roll out pie crust on. Now I'm going to make a long funnel because this needs to be 14 inches long and about 4 inches wide to fit into this pan properly. So I'm going to try to kind of stretch it out and get it to my length before I even get started. And again, I know this might look like it's hard, but when you get through with the cheesecake, you're going to find it so worth it. All right, and we'll just sprinkle a little bit of flour on that. Now I know that this sheet, I think it's 15 inches. Yeah, I keep a little measure in my kitchen. That's right, this is 15 inches long. So I just need to make it a ½ inch shorter on each end. Now I hope you'll keep watching because this will get interesting. All right, so now I'm going to roll it out. And again, I want an oblong that is 14 inches long and 4 inches wide. And that's going to be the crust for the side of the pan. And you want to try to make it, about the same thickness all over. And you can adjust this with your fingers, once you get it rolled out. Let's see how wide that is. Okay, that's a little over 4 inches. So I'm just going to cut it and fill in anywhere I need to. Like right over here. Need to fill in some. Maybe I'll fill in up at the top too. All right. Now I'm just going to roll that in. And again, you're going to really form this with your fingers into the mold of the pan. Sprinkle a little more flour on there. And again, this is a cookie dough crust. That's what this is for the cheesecake we're getting ready to make. Alright, that ought to do it right there. You really don't want to waste any of this crust because it's really good. So I'm just going to fill that in anywhere I want to. Right there. Now all this is going to be hidden by the cream cheese filling, so it doesn't matter what it, if it looks messed up. Now, a lot of times when I first started making this years ago, I didn't really fool with this part. I just pressed it all in up the sides with my fingers, and you can do that. I'm going to cut that right in half. See, it'll come right off that plastic. Now, it hadn't been 8 minutes yet, so we're waiting for the bottom of the crust to cook, and we'll be back. Okay, we're back, and that bottom crust is just slightly browned and cooked. Now, it probably won't get any more brown because remember it's going to have the cream cheese filling on top of it. All right, now, how to attach the sides. I simply take my scissors. Remember, I've cut down the middle of this, and each section is about 14 inches long and about 2 inches wide. So I'm just cutting the saran wrap right down the middle. That way you can pick it up easily. And I'm just going to position it right in the pan. So you can see that. See how easy it goes in the pan this way? And if it cracks a little bit, don't worry, because you're going to smooth it out with your fingers anyway. Alright, so now just kind of mash it in to that bottom crust that's already cooked. Just flatten it out a little bit. And my dogs are in there barking. They always start barking when I start recording for some reason that I don't know. Alright, there's the first half in. Now we're going to do the same thing for the second half. Set my pan down on the corner of that one. Never mind, we can still fix it. Alright, we're just going to position the second one in now. Line it up with the first one. Probably need those little bits there. Just mash it into the sides and then remove your saran wrap. And this is the way you get a cookie dough up the side of the cheesecake. So I'm just mashing it in now and just slightly attaching it to the bottom. I know this seems hard, but remember, any little mistake you make, you can fix it, because all you're doing is mashing it in anyway. And nobody's going to see your fingerprints, because that's going to be on the inside. Now this outside edge will brown while we're cooking the cheesecake. Alright, I think we've about got it. Get it as even as you can get it. There you go. All mashed in there. This side needs to come up a little bit more. Alright, there it is. Alright, now we're ready to make the filling. 5 packs of regular cream cheese, and these are 8-ounce packs. You want 5 of them. To that, you're going to add 1 3/4 cups of sugar. Now, you want the cream cheese, you know, sort of at room temperature, so that you'll be able to mix it up. Now, I am kind of guilty of putting mine in the microwave on defrost to kind of hurry it along a little bit. Although I did take this out in time to make it soft. So you want to just mash that sugar in as much as you can. Alright, that's probably good enough. Just getting it roughly mashed in the cheese. Alright. Now, we're going to add the eggs, and we're going to add them one at a time, if we can. Now, the eggs are 4 whole large eggs and 2 egg yolks. Now, I'm going to try to put these in. I'm going to go ahead and get a spoon. I'm going to try to put these in one at a time, but if it messes up, you know, it messes up. It doesn't matter that much. So just dump 1 egg out and try to get it mixed in as much as you can with a spoon, because we are going to put the electric mixer in here in a little while. Alright, that's good enough. Pop another egg in. Stir it all around. Somewhat mixed in. All right, time for another one. Oops, see, that went one whole egg and one egg yolk. That's okay, just keep mixing it in. All right, ready for another one. Oop. Now it's getting easier to mix. All right, last one. There it goes. All right, that's good enough for right now. All right, now we're going to add 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Just sprinkle that in. The grated rind of 1 lemon and 1 large orange. Now, this is not going to be an orange cheesecake. I know it seems like it, but it won't be. And to this, we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon pure vanilla extract. Sprinkle that around. And at this point, we're going to add about 1/4 of a teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Sprinkle that around. All right, now we're just about to the end of this. Mix it all around. And again, you've got lemon rind and orange rind in here. And but it's not going to be an orange or lemon cheesecake. It's going to be a regular. What happens is the rind, or the acidity of the rind, is going to kind of interact with that cream cheese and just make it a whole lot better. All right, now we've still got lumps in it, but now I'm going to add 1/4 cup of whipping cream. Now that's the kind that comes in that little carton, you know, in the dairy case. Peppy, hush. Yeah, there go my dogs again. All right, so we're just going to mix this around until we get that cream kind of incorporated, because we're getting ready to use the hand electric mixer. All right. Now we're ready for the mixer. And you don't want to mix it very long, just enough till the lumps come out. Now it still might have some little small lumps in it. In fact, that kind of got all over my shirt. Anyway, don't worry about the little small lumps. That's just part of the cream cheese. All right, so I think we're pretty well mixed up. Now, we're going to put this on the crust and pan on a cookie sheet. And this is just an old thin cookie sheet. Alright, there you go. Now we're going to dump it in. If I can pick this thing up. It's very greasy. Alright, there we go. Just going to dump it all right in there. Now part of the things that you think maybe are lumps are part of the grated orange and the lemon rind. Now it's okay if this comes up past where the crust is. That's not going to matter at all. You want to get every little bit in there. All right. And again, this is the type of cheesecake that you get when you go to a restaurant and they charge you $4.95. I think some restaurants might be a little cheaper, but most of them charge $4.95 a piece or slice. Just smooth that out. All right, now, how do you get a cheesecake not to crack in the oven or when you take it out? Now, I've never had one crack, and I pretty much always cook them the same way. You want to start out cooking it in an oven that's 475 degrees. I know that's shocking, but it's the truth. Let me put it up so you can see me talk. 475 degrees. Now, after 15 minutes, you want to cut the oven down to 225. Leave it in the oven for 1 hour. So that's a total of an hour and 15 minutes it's going to cook. The first 15 minutes at 475 degrees. The next hour for 225 degrees. Now here's the rule. Don't open the oven. If you open the oven, it will mess it up and it's very likely going to crack. Don't open the oven. Have I made that clear? I hope, okay? Just don't open the oven. All right, after it's cooked for the second part of the cooking period, the 225 for an hour, leave the oven closed. Don't open it. Leave it in there for another hour with the oven off. Next thing you do is open the oven door. Leave it sitting there for 15 or 20 minutes. Then move it to the counter and let it cool. Now I know that's a process, and I'll go over that with you again in just a minute when I show you the recipe. All right, mine's going in the oven. See you in a minute. Okay, here's the recipe. That top one is the recipe for the cookie dough crust. And again, you want a 9-inch spring form pan. There's the filling. And we're going to use a raspberry topping on that, which is just going to be a 10-ounce jar of Simply Fruit, and that's Smucker's brand. And we're going to use red raspberry, the seedless kind. We're going to melt that and put it on the top and then let it set. All right. Now you don't really, put the topping on, of course, until the cheesecake is done. And here's the way you cook it. You bake it at 475 degrees for 15 minutes. Then you don't open the oven door. Bake it for at 225 degrees for 1 hour. Still, do not open the oven door. Then you let it sit in the oven for 1 hour. Again, not opening the door, because that's what causes cheesecakes to crack. They cool too fast. So again, do not open the oven door. Then once it's cool, you're going to melt the raspberry topping, and I'll show you how to do that, and then just pour it over it and let that set. Then it'll be easy to cut and everything. Okay, so the last segment, I got really hot and I was sweating on my face, and I do apologize for that, but I didn't have the kitchen door open where the thermostat is, and I was preheating the oven to 475 degrees and it got really hot in here. So anyway, I've now turned the air conditioner down. Again, if you're fixing this at around Christmas time, it's going to be cool, and that'll be fine to have the oven at 475. Okay, the big rule on this is do not open the oven door. All right, when mine gets ready, we'll be back. All right, we are back and ready to make the topping for our cheesecake. The topping is going to be from Simple Fruit, and this is the red raspberry, my favorite, and it is seedless. Got it on a burner, melting it on medium heat. Just going to take a whisk, get all any lumps out of it. Now you do want to stir this because you don't want it to burn. Just put the burner on medium until it becomes pretty much a liquid. Let you look at that. It's just pretty much a liquid. Alright, now here's the story. I took my cheesecake out too early trying to rush everything up, and guess what? It's got a crack in it. There it is. There's the crack, and of course it's still warm because I was trying to hurry it up. I know better, but I did it anyway, okay? So, the topping's probably going to cover that up. Alright, so we've heated up our simple fruit, the red raspberry, and I'm just going to pour it all over the top of it. Now this topping will gel right back into really a jelly when it hardens. And this is why this makes a great Christmas cheesecake, because of the red all fruit. Now you could put, any kind you want on it. Anyway, there it is with the crack. Now it absolutely has to cool now, so this topping will gel back, and there you have it. This is a New York style cheesecake with a cookie dough crust and a simple fruit red raspberry topping. Alright, there you have it. It cracked, okay? And this is reality video, so I wasn't going to make it over just to show that it wouldn't crack cooked my way. Alright, so see you next time.